Do you ever find yourself clinging and holding on to something that doesn't even feel good anymore? It's like it could be a relationship or a job, and at one time it brought you joy, and then it didn't. But what can happen is the brain gets associated with normalizing things and wanting to attach a permanence to it. And it also clings on to the ego. So when we associate something like that job or that relationship as part of our identity, if we decide to let go of it, we may think, no, I invested so much time and effort, and if I let this thing go, then that means that my time and effort were a waste. Can you relate? So here's a list of examples. These are things in my life that I felt that maybe I held on to beyond the expiration date. So they stopped feeling fulfilling for me, or I felt like there was some mistreatment or something that I couldn't get past, and I held on to them for sometimes weeks, months, or even years, long after their expiration date. Now ask yourself, is there anything on this list that maybe you could relate to that feeling with? I want you to think about a closet, and I want you to think of that closet just packed with clothing. And all of this clothing has been sitting on the racks for a very long time, but every time you go to look at it, you say, not today, or I don't really like the way it fits or the way that it feels, but maybe one day I'll wear it. And what happens if you go to get something new? There's not any place to put the new thing. You think about this in life. When you have relationships or jobs or behaviors or possessions or things, they're taking up time or space. And what happens when things are cluttered, say you're holding on to a relationship where it's time to let go, and you meet someone that would really fulfill who you are now, not who you used to be, there could be a lack of space for that person to come in. So you're pouring your time and energy into something that doesn't bring you joy or doesn't feel fulfilling. This idea came to me as I was walking outside, and I noticed the trees letting go of the dead, dry leaves. For a season, there may not be any leaves. You may feel some loneliness or some absence or some sadness or grief of what was lost, and that's normal. But what happens in the spring? There's space for the new leaves to grow. If the tree never let go of those dead, dry leaves, what would happen eventually to the tree? So how do you know when it may be time to let go? When you think of this person, place, or thing, you may want to ask yourself, what are the feelings that come up for me? Is it hope, joy, excitement, fulfillment, contentment? Or is it fear, anxiety? Those feelings are there to guide you. So what are they telling you? Ask yourself that. You may come up with some surprising answers to things that you knew deep inside you, you just didn't want to believe, or you got attached to it in some way. But we get stuck in that pattern of just kind of like, how can I fix this thing? Why is it happening? That we can sometimes get stuck in what we don't want and trying to change it into something that it never was and never will be, then letting it go and moving on to something that's more suiting for you. I want you to say this out loud. It's okay to let go. I believe in you. Thank you for watching Stop, Look, and Listen with Samantha.